So I'm recording this one pretty late in the day. It is 11:19. I hope I don't get into the habit of recording these, you know, late. I really should just do it early. I should just do it in the morning. Be easier, and I wouldn't have to, constantly have it be on my mind and worried about it. It's only 10 minutes of content, so it's not that difficult to do it. But there's a little bit of a nagging part of me that always thinks about it, because I wanna do this consistently, and I can do it consistently. It just, it takes. It would just be easier, and I wouldn't have to worry about it if I did it earlier. But I have heard from certain people that procrastination, to some degree, actually does make the end product better. It might just be procrastinators that say that, but I've heard that. I've heard that people who do it right away don't necessarily make the best product. Because when you procrastinate, your mind is opening to different avenues of speech and something. And I don't know. I've also heard this theory about the way that people make media. Like if someone's writing a song, if a band's doing a song, the producers of that song would do stuff to the band while they were trying to perform it to kind of mess them up, because for some reason having some sort of barrier, so having some sort of thing that prevents you, just a weirdness and awkwardness attached to that song, having some kind of awkwardness, some kind of thing that really makes it difficult to do, some kind of hardship makes it better. It's always, for some reason, the song works out better. It comes out better when there's a hardship. So people notice this at first, whenever people started writing songs, and then eventually producers started forcing it to happen by throwing stuff at performers and doing that kind of thing. At least this is a TED Talk that I watched, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it sounds really cool. I like the idea. It's really cool. And so I think in a certain way, procrastination is kind of pushing that. It's because it's harder to do this later in the day. It's harder to record something like this late at night when you don't feel like it and you're tired. So maybe if I do it when I don't feel like it, it'll come out better. Don't know that for certain. I mean, I might just be it might just be complete, baloney. I don't know why I don't want to cuss. It's weird. I've cussed in previous episodes of this, but for some reason in this particular episode, I don't feel like cussing. Speaking of cussing, I have been watching a series that my brother recommended me. He said it was a cool series. I told him that I hadn't really found any Netflix originals that really captured me or interested me. They've always been mediocre to me. And except for Stranger Things, which was kind of the exception to the rule of mediocre Netflix originals. But then he recommended a show called The End of the Fucking World. Might as well. Well, it's the title of the film, so it's not as much of a deliberate cuss. But it's a movie about these two teenagers. One of them, a kid who's a sociopath who wants to kill a girl, and the other is a girl who wants to find her dad. And they go on an adventure together. I haven't finished the series. There's 8 episodes. I've watched 5 of them. But it is really interesting, and it's tight. A lot of Netflix shows, for some reason, they think that the fact that they have so much more freedom to make something longer or to extend the length, because Netflix shows don't have a standard length like TV shows. Netflix shows can range from episode to episode. One episode of a show can be 20 minutes or 13 minutes even, and then another episode can be 53 minutes. And what that tends to do with writers is they tend to overstay their welcome, I think. I think what TV did, writing for TV, it did a lot of things that were kind of not good for writing. It did there's a lot of fabrication of drama in TV that's not cool. But one thing that it did do right is it forced writers to get it done quickly, to get the thing to happen. It forced writers to keep the story sharp because they had to keep it within the time limit, within whether it was a 45-minute time limit for like an hour-long show or a 21-minute time limit for like the half-an-hour shows. They had to keep it like that. They had to keep it tight. And I think Netflix shows don't generally do that. They don't like they tend to go off on tangents and I don't like it. I don't like it because it's like they're going in weird directions, but it's not really achieving anything, and it doesn't feel like fun to watch. It's not fun to watch that. But this show, the end of the fucking world, doesn't do that. The episodes are about 20 minutes each, and they don't overstay their welcome, and it's really good, and it's a really tightly edited show, and I like it. Another reason that I like it is because it's British. The actors are British. Like when I look at the title, it looks like it might be American, or you look at the picture, it looks like it might be American, but no, it's showing the British side of things, and like that, it's just seeing a different environment from what I'm used to is interesting. Like seeing what a British neighborhood looks like, or what a British suburbia looks like. It looks different than American suburbia, and so it's interesting. So yeah, there's that. It's a pretty cool show. I would definitely recommend that anybody watch it. Another thing, actually, you know what? Another thing I like about British TV shows, I don't think they pick people that look good. Like American shows, they try to pick people who look like models, but they can't really act. But British TV shows, I've noticed they don't pick stereotypical model-like, actors. They just kind of pick like the actors that seem to fit the part. So there's a lot more interesting looking people. Yeah. And that's definitely the case with this. And yeah, there's nothing else I can say about that. I can't think about anything else to say about that, but I still have to give you 3 minutes of content, so what should I talk about now? What should I talk about? Man, I gotta get productive. I gotta start doing things. I gotta start doing something interesting because there's nothing that I can think of to talk about. And that's a shame. That's a real shame. What should I do to make it possible to talk about things? Like, a part of it's just my brain doesn't, there's obviously things to talk about. There's always stuff to talk about. Like, there's stuff in my past, but I can't think of anything right now because my brain is like, it's kind of stubborn. It doesn't ever want to just think about, like, oh, before I start this episode, I'm going to think about what I'm going to talk about. It doesn't like that. It likes to improvise. And it doesn't want to, it likes the whole thing. It likes the idea of this whole conversation, this whole podcast being an adventure. So it doesn't know where it's going. I don't know where it's going. And it feels like a mystery that's about to be solved. And so sometimes that can lead into beautiful and wonderful things, but a lot of times, I guess maybe not a lot of times, but sometimes it can lead into nothing. A boring thing where I just talk about the meta over and over again. I really hope that's not what this podcast becomes, because it seems like at least, 30% of every episode is talking about the meta. Because meta is something that I think about too much, I guess. I think about it so much that I just can't help but talk about it, because that's all that's on my mind. Anything else to report about today? Did anything else happen today? I just went to work and did stuff, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I can think about. Let me see. Well, there's only 1 minute left, so I could just fill this with, more blah blah, more filler. Filler is cool, It makes you feel all warm and toasty. It's like you're putting cotton between everything, and that cotton just sort of like envelops your body and makes you feel comfortable. Yeah, that's what this is. This is enveloping your mind in a wave of comfort. It is not. The purpose of it is not to make you think hard. The purpose of it is to seduce you into continuing to listen and continuing to want to listen, because it feels so comfortable to be enveloped in this perfectly comfortable filler. And once again, another perfect filler topic. The heater is on, and it is hot in this room now. The heater's not even pointed at me, but it's been on long enough that I have to unplug it, turn it off, because this room is hot, and I'm sweating, and I don't like it. And okay, wow, look, finally reached the end. Okay, this is the end. Yeah, this is the end of this session.